Well, Canada knows two of its three World Cup opponents. They'll play Qatar in Switzerland at BC Place in Vancouver, and then the UEFA Playoff Path A winner in Toronto to open up the tournament. It's Bosnia and Herzegovina, Italy, Wales, and Northern Ireland who will battle it out for the opportunity to play Canada at BMO Field. Now, you guys, the informal consensus here seems to be that Canada versus Italy would be the most appealing matchup, but we might be overlooking Canada and Wales because if you remember when they played earlier this year, Canada beat them 1-0, and their head coach, Craig Bellamy, took issue with the way that Jesse Marsch and his coaching staff celebrated on the touchline prior to the final whistle. At the time, he said, "I hope I see you at the World Cup," and now we know that is a very real possibility. More recently, Craig Bellamy was in the news again with more comments directed toward Marsch, this time suggesting, quote, "I've got nothing against the guy, by the way. I think he's got something against the world." Ollie, what are your thoughts on this?
We're not overlooking Canada versus Wales. The Italy game is just more appealing than two coaches bickering for me. It is what it is, right? I think you've got two characters, certainly knowing a bit about Craig Bellamy from his playing days, and I think Jesse Marsch as well. They've got a bit of an edge to them, a chip on their shoulder, whatever you want to call it. I just hope this stuff like this, for me, doesn't need to become the main focus for Canada or kind of overtake Canada's focus when it comes to this tournament. I think it's fine to use things like this and find a few extra kind of percentage points of motivation wherever you can. But I think if we've learned anything from the last World Cup, if we've learned anything from going into Nations League finals in March, where there was a lot of talk about Canada and the US and disrespect and so on, this stuff ultimately doesn't really matter that much. It doesn't matter if you're respected. It doesn't matter what other people think about you. What matters is going into this tournament, performing, executing, and being really focused on the task at hand. So if this matchup does come about, my only hope will be that this kind of storyline doesn't become the primary focus as opposed to getting the result they'll need in this opening match.
And it will become the prime or the biggest storyline. It will. That's and to Ollie's point, I'm with him. I don't want that to be the case. Basically, love Marsch, and honestly, Bellamy as a player was dynamic, but hotheads. Like, we don't need another F Croatia moment. Like, we want to see just things won on the pitch. I kind of laughed at the fact that Craig Bellamy is making it on OSD right now because they haven't qualified yet. So this is funny to me. Like, you're like, oh, I hope we see you in the World Cup. I'm like, win your games, and then you have like some chat to do. Like, if I'm Jesse Marsch, I'm like, okay, buddy, like, no problem. Like, it's almost like a big brother, like looking down at a little one, and he's like swinging his arms and like, oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna qualify. You still got to make it out. You still have a tough little group to go and qualify for the World Cup. And Canada's sitting pretty. They know they're gonna be there and play. So as of right now, whatever opinions Bellamy has about Jesse Marsch and about that game and about how he didn't shake his hand, whatever gripes he has, still, you have to go to the promised land. So qualify first, and then you can have a say, and then you can bring up Jesse Marsch. But again, the fact that I'm even saying this is just adding fuel to the fire. If Craig Bellamy ever sees this, he's getting ready to go. So I really hope that it's not the case. I really hope it's Italy, it's Bosnia, it's Northern Ireland. No, I don't want Wales. Because
now Craig Bellamy hopes he sees Jordan Wilson at the World
Cup. There
it
is. Well. He's gonna want to fight me, and then I gotta sweep his leg and put him on the ground. Like, I don't want to do it.
I feel like there's a lot of irony here in saying that, you know, we want to diffuse the situation. Let's not make this the main storyline, but qualify first.
Qualify, bro. Get it done.
Well, it's also like same goes for him because it seems like he's trying to like tone it down a little bit, saying that he's got nothing against him, but then also poking the bear a little bit. So we'll see how this one unfolds. But looking ahead, who do you guys think that Jesse will want to play, Ollie, of these UEFA teams?
I think he should want to play Northern Ireland because I think they're the worst team, with all due respect. Like, as much as I understand the Canada-Italy game would be a real occasion and have a lot of fanfare around it, undoubtedly that would be the biggest match. For me personally, I'm not trying to be pessimistic about it. I'm not saying Canada couldn't beat any of these other teams, but what I want out of that first game is a win, is a fully Reds Canadian crowds at BMO Fields, and I'll take Northern Ireland as the one that you know is most likely, to be honest, I think, to give me that outcome. So it's just essential, I think, that they get off to a good start. Like, the Qatar game being second does help because they're going to have a chance to bounce back very quickly if the first game doesn't go well. But I'll take the 3 points all day long over the more attractive matchup, to be honest.
Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you have the opposing take here, wanting the more challenging team to
Yeah,
kick it off.
yeah, I did. I absolutely did. But then I also countered by saying I need that stadium to be filled with red and white.
Right.
And if they play Italy, the Zuri are coming in full flock. There will be, you'll be remiss to see some red. It will be, as much as people are like, oh, I was born in Canada. We know the Italians. They're running deep. They're rolling in deep. If BMO's 40,000, 35,000 are going to be in blue, there's going to be a zero. So I don't want them at all. Wales, again, we've just made up the situation about what that could be. So I take Bosnia or Northern Ireland. Obviously, Northern Ireland, it will really feel like a Canada crowd. It really feels. But at the end of the day, this tournament for me, for Canada, is about milestones. So whoever they get, they got to win. So yes, you're right, Mac. I did say a hard first game. But as you look at this group with Qatar being in it as well, I just want a world where you're going into the third game with 6 points. Like that's what is on the table right now for Canada. Like it's actually attainable. So then okay, you're playing potentially the hardest team in the group in Switzerland, but then go take a draw. It goes down to goal. Like that is a world now where you could see. So before the draw happened, I was like, oh, give me the hardest team. Now I'm going back to what Christian Jack said. Like get 6 points, know where it is, get other people to play in the third game. You can rest some of your big dogs as well, knowing where you're at. This is like where Canada is. So whoever they get, it's a huge game. But I just want them to get the 3 points. I'm with all.
Winning the group is so massive for this team because of the implications of where they'd play in the knockout stage potentially as well, right? So it's to have a very winnable first game followed by Qatar, potentially 6 points on the board. We're getting way ahead of ourselves here, but for that to be theoretically like a very realistic possibility would be absolutely huge in terms of determining obviously how this World Cup goes and is remembered.